Hi guys, Jess back again with number 22 of the Scrappy Sisters Scrap September, and this one is all about stamps. Now, I've never used stamps on a 12 by 12 layout before, but I think this one worked quite well. So for those of you that don't stamp often, if you've got something a bit like a hard foam underneath your paper, that can sometimes be a nicer surface to work on than straight onto a hard scrapping table. And I found with myself, I don't always use the very best of quality stamps. Sometimes they might just be sort of cheaper from discount store stamps. And I find that those are not always the best. The stamp quality doesn't always work very well. And if I do put them on a stamping mat, like this foam I've got here, I find that the quality of the stamp is much, much, much better. Now that piece of foam I've got underneath, it's not specifically brought, it's nothing special, it's the same piece of foam I use to punch holes in my paper if I'm going to do hand stitching, so it's certainly not going to last me very long, and it was just something I found in packaging for something that, I don't know, a TV or something that we purchased, but it does the job for what I'm needing it for. So I am just using a black Mementos ink, and I've got 3 different stamps that I am using. Now, none of these, I have not a clue where any of these have come from. The swirly one that I've already used is like a streamer that came with a happy birthday set, and I got that given to me, so I'm not sure where exactly it came from. The arrow, I'm fairly certain, but I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly certain it's from a bunch of stamps I bought from the reject shop that came with I don't know, 3 or 4 other different ones. But I'm not sure. I've lost all its packaging. It's just a random stamp in my drawer now, so I can't guarantee that. And then this last one that I'm just putting onto my block now is a beautiful flower on a long stem, and it was also given to me, and it came in an Easter set. So it was 3 completely different stamps, probably completely different qualities, probably completely different brands. Can't actually tell you, but all using the Mementos ink, just mounted onto a cheap Kmart block, nothing special, and it's working really, really well. I have used better quality stamps and stamping blocks before, and I can see a difference, I'm going to be honest. The better quality I do find looks better, and that's just in my opinion and based on my experience that I have not had a very huge amount of, but that using the better quality ones do just seem to have a nice crisper feel to the print. But having said that, these ones worked perfectly. I'm super happy with the way they looked, and they're totally fine. So yes. For those that are wondering, I usually use textured 12 by 12 cardstock. So all I have done in this case is flip it over because the back side is less textured. It's not 100% smooth, but it's less textured, which works well for me. Obviously, stamping on a smoother surface is going to be a lot easier and a lot clearer than stamping on a textured surface. What else can I tell you? Oh, now I'm up to embellishing. So I'm just cutting out some super cute paper. This says I love you to the moon and back, and I just thought that was gorgeous for the layout that I'm doing. And I'm just sticking those on the sides, basically as if they were branding strips. They're not branding strips, they're obviously strips from normal paper that I've cut out, but just using them as if they are branding strips. This came together really super easily in the end. I was really happy with how quick it was to put together because obviously the stamp was the main feature. I feel when I look back on it that I might have over embellished it, but I'm happy with the way it turned out. I actually think, though, it would have been nicer to have more of the stamping. I ended up covering it a little bit with a few buttons and things like that, which you'll obviously see as I continue on. So I am struggling to voice over this one for some unknown reason. I guess because the stamping part is done, which is what the prompt is, and I'm now just blabbering about what I'm doing. So I am now putting a second layer, which is a branding strip. They came off the side of the papers, and I just thought they were cute, so I wanted to use those too. This layout is very black and white, but I do add a little bit of colour in the embellishing when I get going. So off screen, I backed my photos with this beautiful vellum with sort of rose gold coloured triangles and some black and white stars and moon paper. I just thought it looked super cute and softened up the photo a little bit. And in the embellishment pack, this is a Kaiser Craft embellishment pack, but I cannot remember the collection, I'm sorry. Maybe something to do with daydreams. No, made that up. Sorry, don't ask. It had a little strip of stars, and I wanted to use the stars in amongst the stamping, so I've just cut those up. And because the top half is sort of heavier, bigger, I wanted to still put more things up the top there because I am going to put the title down underneath the photograph. So just having a bit of a play with a few of the bits and pieces that come in the embellishment package. I know I don't want too many embellishments on this layout because the stamping is sort of speaking for itself, but I do need something. So I've decided I'll put the title down now, because if I pop the title down, it might give me a better idea as to how much room it takes up and where I can fit the rest of my embellishing. Because sometimes I find placement is a bit tricky if I don't know where the title's going to go. So I balanced out this title, sort of resting it on the photographs, and I loved it the way it was, the Be Silly across the sort of the half, the bottom of the photo. So I needed, because I'd popped up the photo on pop dots, I needed to get some foam to go underneath the half of the word as well. So I put foam under the black half of all the letters and then let that, it balanced up there by itself, which is perfect. You might have noticed before I was playing with another little set of emojis, smiley faces, which I decided to cut up, split up, and add those in amongst the stamping just to add a little bit of something. So I am popping up the stars with foam thickers, foam pop dots, foam dimensionals, and I am gluing the faces, or not gluing, double-sided taping the faces straight down to the layout. Sorry, I've just lost all of my words today. This voiceover has taken me all day. I started it at about 10 a.m. and it's now quite late at night. I've just had interruption after interruption today and I've just not been able to get it done. And now I'm tired and I'm not making any sense. But that little, back to my layout, that little piece that I just slid underneath the photo there, it was actually a journaling card, but for those of you that watch my videos, you know that I don't like journaling because I don't like my handwriting. So sometimes I cut off the journaling section, but then I never ever use them anyway. So this time I just kept the journaling section on. I'm just hid it underneath the photograph, and it says what I love about you, because this is just my little man down to a T. He's silly. He does silly things, he pulls silly faces, and he's just divine, as we all think. I'm just a little bit biased, aren't I? So I just thought it was a bit of fun. So now I wanted to do something in that top left-hand corner, so I was just having a little bit of a play with what I thought looked best up there, and I just stick that straight down. I don't, no popping up of anything over there. And then I found these little arrows and I thought they were cute and that they would work well in amongst the collection. I actually wish I had one more to go in that big gap there where the grey one is, but a fourth one would have looked perfect. But anyway, that does look better the way I've laid them out now. It's quite nice when you watch this and you're like, yes, do that, yes, and you agree with your placement. When you first see how you initially had thought about it. Sorry, I'm being silly, but I thought it was funny. These are those cute little Chanel buttons. This is when I start to go a little bit too over the top with where I'm over embellishing, but the buttons are just so cute. It's hard not to use them. And I was having a look at these gorgeous tiny word stickers that are on kind of a mint green with gold lettering. And there were a couple that worked, but I decided I'd just do one because it kind of walks down in steps with the Be Silly and then the banner and then the tiny word sticker just sort of stepping down. And then just a little bit of gold Heidi Shine, which I'm going to need to get a new one of very, very soon. I just about run out, which is wow for me. I never finish anything because I hoard it for so long. So this is definitely being used, as you know, again, if you watch my videos, because I pretty much finish it with every layout, adding some gold Heidi Shine. So there we are. This is my number 22 of Scrap September and the stamps layout. And you can see that it worked quite well, making my own pattern paper with some stamping, which I thought was super, super cute. I hope you're playing along at home. Do remember to check out our Instagram account, Scrappy Sisters Oz, and tag us ssscrapseptember so we can see if you are playing along at home. Stay tuned tomorrow for Katie's number 23. I know you will love it. Please like, subscribe, and we will see you later. Bye, guys.